What is up, everyone? Welcome to a new show, the first time ever, Checking the Chain with Sergeant Ponzi and Chewbacca. Stoked to be here. How you doing, Sergeant?
Yeah, man. I'm just checking my microphone's working. We good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good news, man.
All good. Yeah, how's it going, man? How you been enjoying the last couple days?
Man, like it's been fun. It's getting quite hard to keep track of everything. We spent
Yeah.
a long time in the bear market, and now everything's going parabolic. It's just kind of trying to keep in my bags and not over rotate.
Yeah, there are too many coins, way too many plays right now, and I guess it's a good problem to have in comparison to not being able to have conviction on anything. So, there's that. But yeah, I guess how are you approaching overall the market right now? What type of plays are you looking for? What type of plays are you looking to stack? Are you taking profits anytime soon, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, I think like over the bear market, I was talking to my friend earlier. Like we was getting chopped up, and it kind of like helped us develop our Twitch reflex. And now I'm just trying to not overtrade, and I've picked my winners, and a lot of winners have come out, and I'm just trying to stick to them for the time being. How about you?
Yeah, so I have like my conviction bets, and then I have my less conviction bets, and I'm basically rotating through some plays, trying to rotate underperformers into outperformers. I just rotated some bags into uh, Harry Potter, Obama Sonic Inu. No surprise there. Just rotated some more into Flip. Rotated some more into some bags into BSSB. We can get into that stuff in a minute, but it's like my thesis for the market has been like a little bit spread out into a lot of narratives, and like now we're really obviously seeing which sectors are kind of in a
Outperforming.
blow. It seems like outperforming, but it feels like a blow off top kind of. Um, but
It does, yeah. I just want to avoid getting hit by the PTSD and selling
yeah.
early. A lot of my bags I've held since July, April time. A lot of these BRC
Mhm.
20 bags. So I haven't actually
Yeah.
bought much recently. And it's nice to
Mhm.
see some of these bets pay off. Last bull market 2021, I was chronically over trading. So,
Mhm.
I'm holding a bag and it's not doing anything. So, and I'm watching everyone else make money. The next thing you know, I over rotate and then the old bag goes up. And then it's just a game of cat and mouse. So
Yep.
I'm just trying to avoid that.
Yeah,
This
but I think the key is developing your own plan enough that you have conviction enough where you don't overtrade, where other things pumping doesn't make you lose conviction and make you chase. So,
yeah.
yeah, what are, in terms of like your plan, what are you looking for? I know you're obviously heavily allocated in BRC 20. What are you ignoring? What are you trying to max on?
Um, you know, so for me, the way I look at it personally, there's three big narratives I like. I like AI, I like BRC20, I like gaming. I haven't really made an allocation to gaming yet because I
Yeah.
want to make sure before I do anything that I do my due diligence. I don't want to buy anything I don't truly believe in. I
Mhm.
do like to look at this big time project that's just kind of caused a bit of stir recently.
Yep.
Um, but BRC20, AI, Tau, Potenza, like we discussed, and I'm trying not to get distracted by anything else really at this time. How
Yeah.
about you?
Pretty much the same. I would say I'm heavily more allocated to memes than any other sector right now. But I mean, I feel pretty good about it, given that I'm buying like I'm not
Yeah,
allocating much to like the shitters. I'm allocating to stuff like Bonk,
yeah,
Harry Potter, kind of like who the market has decided are the leaders, the sector leaders. So heavily allocated to those, but then kind of similar to you, BRC20, AI, gaming. Um, I think the trouble with AI is like there aren't really that many great plays yet,
Yeah,
and there
I
don't
think
have to be, but
yeah, I think as well, like me and you've been talking about as well, just looking at the top 10 of the narrative and just buying the number one, instead
yeah,
of trying to outsmart the market, just buying the Audis, buying the Taos, buying the AXSs or the Lidos, the top performers, the Pepes, instead of trying to
yeah,
be over smart and trying to get 100x and losing all your money, I've learned to just go for, be left curve, just pick number one and ride it out and then sell
yeah,
and compound. So I think that's the biggest take from last bull market was, I'm not that smart. I'm not going to find the next Lido, the next Pepe, because while I'm doing that, Pepe is going to go up another 20x, and I've been rugged.
yeah.
So I think that's a big thing. This market is just finding that number one play and holding it out until the narrative's done.
Totally, yeah, and I think we're early enough in the bull market where we can do that. I know a lot of other people are that we're talking to. I've even seen Twitter posts from from OGs that are saying like, I want something under 30 million market cap, or I want something under 100 million market cap. I'm not going to invest in anything over that. And I think they're kind of like losing the forest through the trees of where they are in the or where we are in the cycle. It's like you
Yeah,
could get a 20x on $1 billion token.
exactly. Yeah. So
You
why
know?
why take the risk?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, why don't we loop in, kind of move over to the charts and slash content, and you can look at Tau first. And I
Yeah.
mean, I have wrapped Tau pulled up because that's what I bought because it's easiest. Um,
hmm
are you holding the wrapped version, or are
Yeah.
you
So
the real
I
version?
actually I actually bought some more Tau today, and I'm still
Mhm.
on ramping money that I had in fiat to buy more Tau.
Yeah,
Currently I'm the same as you. Like I did buy wrapped Tau, but I will be bridging over so I can stake it because I think first Tensor staking rewards are 22%,
hmm
and at present 90% of all Tau is staked.
hmm
So that means like the real market cap, the circulating market cap is only 200 million. If you
yeah,
look at the flow,
yep,
and that's
makes
pretty
sense.
bullish to me.
Yeah, I agree, and it's just going to the trend either way is going to be more pronounced, and when the trend is up, it's just going to come harder. And then once we finally get a correction, uh, maybe after like ETF news or something,
Yeah,
it there should be a crazy nuke
yeah, and
just
I
because
think
there's not.
and I think one thing people aren't realizing about this project, like it can be looked at like a layer one blockchain.
Yeah.
Like people just think it's an AI project, but I do foresee in the next month, 2, 3, 4 months, we will start to see a season of Tau projects. Kind of like how a lot of these AI projects recently have been
Mhm.
ChatGPT wrappers, Telegram bots, or all these AI apps have only been utilizing the API from OpenAI. I think
Yep.
moving forward, we'll start seeing a lot of projects utilizing the API of Tau.
Yeah.
You know,
Should
and
we should we
it's,
segue to demind?
yeah, we can segue to demand.
Because that would kind of fall under that category, right?
Yeah, so who showed this at the beginning? Was it one of our? I don't recall who we found this project, but this is the first project on the application layer of Potenza.
Yep.
It's a PAAL competitor, and
Mhm.
it's the first AI project that's utilizes decentralized LLM, and you can kind of consider it like a proof of concept.
Sure.
I think we got in. I think we shared it at about 30. Went up to 90. There was a bit of FUD, with the developer, sending out tokens to sketchy wallets. So I
Yep.
did sell, but I ended up buying back in because this is something I didn't really want to miss.
Hmm.
Just because of the tau maxis, and I can imagine this going to do numbers.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's the first alt that's part of Tau, right? It's Tau's first alt.
Yeah,
Yeah. So.
and it's just something we've never seen before. This is just
Mhm.
completely new territory. But when you consider like it's not exactly a layer one blockchain, but that's the closest comparison we have. And then we're going to see these ecosystem players coming out, and it's all uncharted territory. You've got the low float of Tau, and how does that affect the supply? All these things we haven't thought about. So it is pretty exciting, this Tau narrative. What do you consider around what are you looking at for price targets for Tau?
I mean, I I think there's a really good case to be made that AI will be in the top 10, I think, um, in peak bull, and I think Tau has obviously the best chance of that happening, um, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, I could see this thing easily 5K, 10K,
Yeah, yeah,
potentially 20.
yeah.
That would be like,
I agree. Like I do think people are underestimating this thing, and there's a lot of consensus with the smart people. A lot of people are saying a lot higher for Tau, and I think the thing as well is in crypto, we tend to always think that we're late. We
yeah.
think that our small circle are all talking about something, so we shouldn't get involved. Everyone's talking about it. We fail to realize that the people who are here now are all early, and they've gone through the bear market, and you know majority of people are stuck in town now.
Hmm.
Most of the
Totally.
smart people are stuck in this project, and there's so much confluence in this project. That's something I want
Yes.
to be a part of.
Yeah. So I think there's like a few good points you made. So one of them is there's this idea of getting in things that no one is talking about, and that's really good if you're flipping like very low liquidity shitcoins. You want to be um, you want to be in front of everyone else if you're trying to flip like a 10x overnight or in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
But you really don't have to do that. You can just buy things that have consensus.
yeah,
And I think at this stage, looking for things that have consensus amongst enough smart people is really all that matters. And if enough people think that this thing is going to the top 10, has a great chance of it happening.
yeah. And the thing is with this project as well is there's a lot of miners getting involved as well, Bitcoin miners.
Mm.
I think I saw I forget the name of them, but one of the top three Bitcoin miners have switched over to Tau, and they're mining
Mm.
Tau as well. So when they start to get involved, they don't do that with every project.
Yeah.
So there's TradFi that want a piece of the pie here, and that sets this project apart from a lot of other projects. And to me, there aren't any other projects of this scale from what I've seen.
Yeah. And so how do you mine this thing?
So there's two methods. So one is it's half proof of stake and one half proof of work. So
Okay.
one half is you stake your Tau tokens and then you
Yep.
become a validator. That's 50%
Sure.
of that's 50% of emissions. The other half is you need to be a large language model creator. So you kind of
Mhm.
like you're developing neural networks or AI models, and then you get paid out a share of that.
Hmm.
So there's miners, which are creating the large language models, and then there are stakers, which is a bit of like an easier method of getting exposure to the staking rewards. But
Sure.
also, I think one thing that'd be helpful is if I show you the Potenza subnets, will probably drive this point home a bit more better. I think currently I think maybe like 20 sub networks.
Really? 20 subnets already?
Yeah, let me find them.
Yeah, if you have a link, I can pull it up.
Yeah, let me get this information. And each subnet has its own use case. So you have a subnet for text to image, you have a subnet for large language models, and each one of them subnet gets a certain amount of the pie. So each subnet could be considered its own blockchain. That's
interesting.
How they give me a second.
Yeah.
If I can find it.
So AVAX and Sol and ARB might not be the best places to look for like subnets for AI, I guess. It seems like Tau might actually be stealing a lot of that liquidity.
It seems that way, yeah. I'm still trying to understand it myself. It can be. Okay, here's the image. Let me send this to you quickly. It's a Twitter link. If I send this to you through the chat, I'll send it from Discord. You know, it could consider it similar to AVAX subnets, except it actually works.
I mean, I think AVAX subnets work. Kribata moved over to one.
There wasn't really a bullish.
It just didn't end up mattering.
Yeah. So yeah, I just sent you the link. If you want to pull out that Twitter link, it just gives you a visual of all of the subnets currently.
Yeah, got it.
You know, and it's discussions of potentially thousands of subnets on this one.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So is this account follow, I guess? I'm following. Let's see. There's a limit of 16 subnetworks. Okay, so there's exclusivity to the subnets.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, so just wanted to check my microphone. Is everything good? Oh.
What's that? Oh, is my sound a little off?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let me. I'll just go through. If you want to just hold that for a second. So.
Yeah.
I just wanted to list. So, this is my first time reading this, but you can see there that they have a subnet for text prompting, translation, scraping, image generation, storage, prediction. That's pretty impressive. And my thesis is that I would like to see Unibot style apps built on Potenza.
Sure.
That's what I'm looking for. Like, and if DMine can do that, great. But I don't know the technicalities of it. But if that project comes out, I think that's going to be insane.
I think RT made the comparison today that DMind was a potential Unibot of Tau. So, yeah, I'm sure others are thinking the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And your sound's got better, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we'll have to stay on top of these subnets.
Yeah. Did you want to have a look at this BSSB? How did you want to go through this BRC?
Sure. Let's finish up with Agoras.
Okay, yeah, Agoras.
AI. And then, oh wow, this thing is going for it.
So yeah, with this Agoras project, I've only just found it recently, but people are comparing it. People are saying it's a competitor to Tau.
Yep.
But I heard it actually does something completely different. I believe Tau is a large language model, which is kind of restricted, where it can only do what it knows. That's the only way I can explain it. It's like you feed it information, and then it can regurgitate it back to you. That's what a large language model does. What people are saying about this project is more so. Now, I'm going to say it's crudely, but more like AGI type of thing, where it's trying to create AI. You know, I've only just recently learned about it, but that's supposed to be a difference between this project and Tau, where Tau is a large language model, and AGRS is supposed to be something completely new.
Got it.
So, and the meme is that it's actually called TAU, this project.
Okay, that's funny.
So, yeah, and this actually came out 7 years ago. This project, the guy's been talking about it for a long time. This professor, and if you look at the Tau, the actual Potenza logo, that is, if you said that correctly, it's actually TAU.
Yeah,
So that's how it's supposed to be. So there's a bit of a meme there, really. But
that's funny.
I'm not particularly invested in this project, but I'm hearing that this is one of the big ones that's come out.
Yeah, agreed. I think just based on it's another consensus trade. I think I've seen enough smart people talking about it. Same thing as Tau for me. And I imagine this thing gets repriced much higher.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't had time to dive into it.
Yeah, because I was telling you about Tau at $35, wasn't I, at the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
But it was just such a long trade, and it was sideways for 12 months, and then it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I was kind of worried about the emissions initially, but it seems that nobody cares about that. So
yeah, I mean, the emissions mattered when no one cared about the project, or when no one started realizing about the potential. And then, once, just because it was so underpriced,
Yeah, one guy said to me, he said, emissions only matter in a bear. In a bull, emissions are bullish. People get their Lambo calculators out. And and I thought about it, like, they're right. Like, when in the bull, people start saying, oh, I'm making like this much money a month, and it's crazy. The emissions are crazy. Like, but in a bear, it's more so like, oh, the emissions are going to send it to zero.
Totally.
So I kind of flipped that switch off, and because that was my main reason for not entering Tau was the emissions. But I tried to flip that switch and look past that and not mid curve it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, kind of on the same level. Let's see. I'm gonna look at Pocket Network real quick. This thing had crazy emissions. Obviously, went to zero in the bear. Let's see if this has enough history. I guess this doesn't have the full chart. Yeah, so this thing. There should be more history than that, but yeah, I mean, this thing obviously went to zero. I think very high emissions for a Pocket node, and now it's just starting to moon, and I don't think we have to worry about the emissions for a very long time, potentially a year. And so it'll be really interesting to see how that holds up over the next 12 months. Really high emission projects, are they all going to moon in the same way? Are some going to be held back more than others?
Yeah, it's just crazy how things can just flip like that, where they're the worst project and they don't make sense, and then the price starts going up, and then now they're great again.
Yep. The technology is the best we've ever seen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Kind of another pretty poor tokenomics project that I went in kind of heavily on was this Genopets, which is one of my only main plays on the game fee side of things.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think it's a safe play and it's on Solana. If they've been building, throughout this whole period for these last couple of years, and the project is still still making updates. They have an iOS app, so that's really the only thesis I built out for this.
The thing is as well, one thing about a project that's been bottomed out for such a long time, a lot of the holder base are out there anymore. They forgot about it.
Yeah,
it's gone to zero. So then when it reprices, it can just go crazy because there's so many inactive holders.
Yeah,
just giving up, and then that adds to the volatility, to the upside. vertical accumulation.
Yep.
I actually bought this project. I think it was like $15 in 2022.
It's so funny. Yeah. That's
during the Sergeant Fitness days. And I
Yep.
think I got
because this was kind of like GMT beta in a way, I guess.
Yeah. But it just
So
didn't. I
funny.
think just because of it was on KuCoin when I bought
Mhm.
it. I think I bought on KuCoin.
Yeah. KuCoin's a great spot for low liquidity Ponzi's.
Yeah, I don't actually currently hold anything on Solana at this present time.
hmm
So I'm just trying to not get spread too thin.
Sure.
Because when the market turns the other way around and you're spread too thin, that's like, it's very hard to exit.
Yep, that's true. And I haven't really seen any AI plays that I have really any conviction on.
Yeah.
On Solana, like there are some ones. There's no Sana, but yeah, I haven't really seen anything that has been have been very impressive. So yeah, I think just waiting for the right opportunity to come is better than trying to like force a narrative play if one doesn't really exist.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Solana, I've got a bit of history of helium, but stuff like that, I think, I do think in the future that's going to come back deadly. I do think, just because of
it's going to be, the chart's going to look the same, right? It's going to look the same as this, and it's just going to go ballistic at some point.
Yeah, number 2. But yeah, a lot of stuff I've been hearing about this Guac, and Bonk's obviously been doing well, but I literally haven't really been keeping track of it all.
Yep. Yeah, let's see how Bonk's doing. Yeah, Bonk's doing great, and I've been buying a little bit more of it up here, which seems insane. But the idea is that it doesn't have any tier 1 listing right now, and it's just getting too much volume to be ignored. And I think there's consensus around this one. I think enough people agree that this is going to be, kind of a leading meme. So it's going to get a listing. It's probably going to happen on this run. I bet it has another. I think this thing's going to at least $1 billion. In the next couple of weeks.
Well, look at it now. Like, this has been under the radar, and remote, like kind of under the radar to normies, and it's nearly close to the Pepe market cap, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not that easy to buy. So, imagine when it is easy to buy.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what should we dive into? Should we go over to BRC20 stuff, just given that's kind of like the
let's
other leading
there
narrative
right now. Top? Ordi?
Yeah, let's pull up Ordi. So we got some questions in the chat. What are your top 10 allocations? Seeing the blue chip AI trifecta is Tau, Agora, and OLAS. Can you guys look at OLAS as well? I've seen a lot of confluence on OLAS. You like OLAS, right?
Yeah, so for me, it's not really a fundamental reason why I like OLAS, but it's just the case that I see it mentioned a lot, and it's more of a pick and shovel play.
Sure.
The reason why I like it is it kind of fits the narrative. Tau, Agora, and OLAS, they're all infrastructure that things can be built on. So I think I was looking at under $2. But I'm still kind of like off put by a lot of these FDVs, which is my problem a lot of times.
Yeah, I know that's the PTSD talking, huh?
Yeah, but I shouldn't care really, because Ethereum would technically have an infinite FDV then, and Atom,
Yeah, that's true. I think like the unlock schedule is important too, right? Like looking at TIA, for example. Everyone loves TIA because everyone says it has 12 months before unlocks, and people, not that it really matters, but people seem to like that, and so
Yeah.
I think paying attention to the unlocks are
Quite
it's worth
important.
doing. Yeah. So yeah, I would say like OLAS, Tau, and Agora right now are probably like the highest probability kind of AI ETF right now.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus, is the on-chain AI ETF. You have stuff like FETs, AGIXs, which
Yeah.
will probably still do numbers.
Yep.
It's just these seem to be having the most volatility right now.
Yeah, I think because AGIX and FET were already well known, and these are kind of like more out of nowhere. And so people always love new shiny things.
Yeah, and to me, like, the alpha is that Tau should be considered like Ethereum. I mean, once people start understanding that, then they can start adjusting their price predictions.
Yeah.
You should be comparing it to AGIX and FET. Like, I don't even know what them things do. Still to this day, they don't really have a use case.
Yeah.
You can't. We want Ponzi's on Ponzi, so.
Yep. Exactly. Let's see. Any super cool apps? No, not really. Let's see. FriendPet's a super cool app.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could get into that in a bit. Why don't we move over to the BRC20 stuff though, just to make sure we have enough time to cover it all.
Yeah.
What should we start with? Let's go to
Ordi.
Well, this thing has just gone ballistic. So
looks like
why? Why Pamp, Sergeant?
So I think the Chinese community are heavily involved in BRC20 tokens. They just love niche weird stuff like that. Like if it's like a number or some logo or something obscure. And I do think as well that there's not much. China hasn't really made their imprint on crypto as much as we have. I don't know many Chinese projects. It seems like they've kind of taken a liking to the BRC20 community. And
interesting.
You can see on Twitter a lot of WeChat discussions about Ordi, and even the one we got into yesterday, BSSB.
Yep.
This is the first mover as well. Just a liquidity sync. It's on Binance. It's just easy access in compared to the rest of the BRC20 tokens.
Sure.
Which I admit aren't very easy to buy.
Yep. Yeah, agreed.
It's just a meme coin, but it's $1 billion meme coin, so
it's insane.
But if you look at it like this as well, like Bonker's 400 million, Ordi's $1 billion. So if you compare the narratives, it does make sense. Ordi is a bigger narrative than Bonk as a meme coin. Has a lot more going for it, like like I said, the miner narrative, and it's completely new grounds.
Yep.
I don't actually have a bag, but
it's just funny because you talk to a majority of the people that we know, and most of them probably hold Bonk or have traded Bonk, and a majority of them have probably never held Ordi or traded Ordi. It's just funny. Yeah,
it's very if you compare, like you say, like who's holding Bonk, who's holding Tau, who's holding these projects, you very rarely see people holding Ordi. But it's so high. This money's coming from somewhere, and it's probably the East.
It's probably, like you said before, heavily influenced by miners.
Yeah.
So
this was a free mint initially. You could mint it for $1, and if you held until now, you'd have $50,000 per mint. There was no cap. It's pretty much a money printer. However many times you click that button, it's $50,000. To me, it's like it's pretty much the equivalent of being involved in Bitcoin at the beginning. Because that's one free Bitcoin. It's like getting one free Bitcoin per click.
Yeah.
and that's if it stops here,
Yeah. I imagine this thing keeps going.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this is a top, but like over the next 12 months, it probably keeps going. So there was no limit to how many times you could click the mint button.
You could have minted the whole supply if you wanted to, and it lasted
Wow.
3 or 4 days. There was no whitelist. It was just a case of going on Unisat, copying the JSON script, and pressing mint. In fact, you could batch mint 10 at a time if you wanted to.
Oh man, that's crazy.
And these opportunities are still out there. There are other things. If we've got time, we can look at where has been a free mint, and it's done insane multiples.
Yeah, what were some of the other ones?
So there was Soulscriptions.
Yeah, I remember that.
Inscription Solana. You had like ETH inscriptions. You had the frogs NFTs.
Yeah,
they're like $7,000 now.
The frogs were free. Free mint.
I believe they were a free mint. Yeah, they were a free mint.
Wow.
A lot of these ordinal projects were.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that, let's say, for example, Nat, which is what we did together, they raised $5 million from that. But that goes straight to the miners.
Sure.
There's no middleman. So the people who did the token don't get the money. It goes straight to the miners' hands.
Yeah.
So that's a new revenue stream for the miners.
Sure.
I'm sure they know about it.
Oh yeah, obviously, and they want to keep that relationship going for sure.
Yeah, because when Audi was minting, the average gas fee was about 80 cents per mint, and that was still high at the time. Now it's about $8.
Yep.
So the transaction fees on Bitcoin has 10x'd.
Totally.
That's 10x revenue.
Yeah.
That's nothing to sniff at, and that's now like in a peak froth, we could be looking at like $80 per transaction. That's 100x transaction fees.
Yeah.
That would be a case where the transaction fees overtakes the mining inflation.
Absolutely. I wonder. I don't know. I could see the fees more than 10xing from here. Honestly.
Yeah. Easily,
like look how high look at the Ethereum fees. They'll go from like $8 to $800.
Yeah, and the peak
in peak. So if we reach that kind of mania, we could see these things do the same. These fees.
Yeah. Should we look at track?
Yeah. You can keep running your victory lap on this one.
Oh damn. What's that now?
Uh-oh.
Dip.
Yeah.
So I actually found this at 5 cents, and it's always a way, like it will be before you found it, it's flat, and as soon as you find it, you could go away from your computer for half an hour, you come back, it's 3x'd. You get your money together, it was 30 cents. So I believe me and you bought in at 30 cents. We rode it all the way up to 90. We held it all the way down. We were looking at it like BRC20s aren't going to work, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember like my sentiment down here, and it was like, wow, this thing is worthless.
Yeah. And we probably should have bought more, really. At that stage.
Of course we should have.
I think, what's that? A 13. What's that X? How many X's is that? Like 15, 16X, I think. 16X so far.
Yeah. Yep. Right around there.
Yes, something like that anyway.
The thing to do here would have been like, we didn't have to beat a hero and reallocate the stone bottom. We could have waited till it looked like it was coming back out the other side. Wait for W's, as the our TA friends like to say. And we could have had like a really high probability addition there.
This is the crazy thing, like it's hard being early, isn't it? Like Messi used to say. it's all about being early and right. But when you're early, you feel like you're wrong. No one's talking about it. But then the influencers start talking about it, you're like, damn, like they're actually late, and we've been there for a long time. And that was funny seeing that happen in real time.
Yep.
And it still may be early now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because Track currently at this price is around 80 million market cap. And it's pretty much, it is the leading infrastructure.
It's still only 80 million.
It's $21 million supply, so it's closing in on 105 million at $5.
Wow. Yeah.
Audi's $1 billion market cap. Track is the number one infrastructure in not just BRC20s, but TAP and all these other indexes. So
for sure,
other BRC20 tokens are coming out and they're hitting like 14, 50 million. Like one's MUBI, MUBI.
Yep.
And Tracker's only 2x that. So I think $10 from here is pretty conservative.
I agree. I think memes usually will run harder than utility plays, so I'm not so sure that this will pass like an ordi, but I think at least like a quarter, at least 25% of its market cap would be reasonable.
Yeah, which that's kind of how I am as well. Always take a percentage off what I think it's going to go to, and then another percentage to be a bit more realistic.
Yeah.
I believe so. Track have the BRC20 indexers, but they also have TAP, and Pipe. TAP is a competitor to BRC20, and TAP hasn't released yet. It's going to release about after the 10th of December, because currently Ordinals is in beta, so it's all in beta. And they're going to call it the Ord Client Jubilee. So when that occurs, there'll be more features available, and TAP will be launching, and track holders get an airdrop. So that could be. I can't see how it's not going to pump because of that news.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even know that track holders get an airdrop. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's 1 for 1 as well. So it'll be the same supply. And that could be pretty good for a 2x.
Do we know when that's going to happen?
I believe it'll be after the Jubilee, because they can't launch until that occurs.
Okay.
After the 10th of December.
Got it.
So that's pretty exciting for Track, I think.
That's coming up.
Yeah, if you want to hold BRC20 tokens and you're not holding this, don't know what you're doing.
And it's not too late.
Should we have a look at sats?
Let me pull up sats. Let's see.
So these would be, in AI we've got OLAS, we've got Tau, we've got AGR, that'd be the Trinity, and BRC20 you've got Track, Sats, and Audi.
I imagine I can just chart it on TradingView.
Yeah, I think it's on Mexi or let's see. Maybe CoinGecko.
It's lagging up here. There we go. There we go.
KuCoin. I didn't even know it was on KuCoin.
Yeah, bullish.
Yeah, so I got into Sats. So it's not showing on the chart, but I got into Sats 25 million market cap. It took 6 months to mint out, and it was a huge supply. It's $25 million mint to miners.
Yeah.
And for months it was sitting at 10% for months, and I was just like, this shit's never going to mint out. But then as things caught on, it just went to 100%, and then it sat around for a while, and then Unisat announced their OW2 DEX, and it's going to be used for gas token, and then it just started to climb up, started to follow Audi. I think at one point it actually flipped Audi, which is pretty cool. But this seems to be it's going to be a utility token on the BRC20 layer.
Sure.
So let me give you an example of something I found. me a second.
One sat equals one sat.
Exactly that. The meme. That'll be at 1,500x from here.
Yeah.
Totally logical.
Yep.
But that's the kind of thing that makes projects go crazy, right? Like people were saying, "Oh, Shiba
For
to a
sure.
dollar." If Shiba
Yeah.
was to a dollar, it'd be worth more than the global GDP.
Yep. Yeah, it's all about just a marketing game, you know?
So yeah, this looks pretty interesting. It's called Fairlight, and it's going to be a DeFi lending protocol on Bitcoin, and the main currency is going to be Sats. I believe you'll be able to lend against Audi as well. You know, you can check this out. Like the token is out. I think it's around 7 million market cap, and it's under the radar at present.
Yeah, FCDP.
FCDP.
Huh. Cool.
So I haven't been able to do my due diligence because I'm always a bit skeptical of any Bitcoin projects because it's so difficult to do. You know, you can't really execute smart contracts on Bitcoin. But it seems to me that Fairlight is going to be utilizing the Unisat SDK kit. So it's going to be modular where Unisat have their DEX and then Fairlight's going to be plugging into that. So that's kind of how it's going to work. You know, Unisat, the way it's looking now, it's going to be the main player of the BRC20.
Yeah, so Unisat kind of gave this some legitimacy, I guess.
Yeah, so they've got a partnership.
Okay, yeah.
So it's bullish for Sats. It just furthers the thesis that Sats is going to be the utility token throughout. You know, they've got a large holder base, 45,000 holders on chain. You know, that's not giving exchanges as well.
Yeah, bullish on partnerships for sure. And if Sats has the partnerships.
Yeah, and then we had BSSB as well, which kind of furthers on the Sats narrative.
Yeah, this was funny. I think Krish shilled this one like yesterday, like right around here. I think. Yeah. And yeah, this is just like stablecoin narrative, insta buy, and this thing's going crazy.
Yeah, I was the same. I saw it and like it's a bit stable. Kind of reminded me of AIM. I was like, okay, Ponzi.
Yeah.
And then I saw the slugs. People were throwing in $20,000 here and there, like large sums of money.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know, I saw some of these other, you know, Mubi, Moonin, and this seemed like a good play.
Yeah, I mean,
projects coming out right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we can run the same playbook from you know, like the same narratives that worked early, you know, early Ethereum, early DeFi days. Just run it back on Bitcoin, right? And so if we have like stablecoin swap narrative, you know, it's like an insta buy.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like I find it crazy how when AVAX season was around, Phantom season was around, even Harmony. People were rotating straight away. There was like, rotators, bridgers. But now Bitcoin chains coming out and people were like, it's not going to work. When it's the largest chain, you know, the highest value, people don't see it the same.
Yeah.
They just don't. But when it's time for Phantom, they're bridging within 10 seconds to buy Spooky Swap. And then, most of them they were late, and we're seeing the same playbook again. Rotate the chain. That each ecosystem play goes crazy. The stable coins, the lendings, the P2E gaming, and we get to run it back again.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because it feels like we've already like advanced past this type of era. You know, it's almost as if this shouldn't ever existed. Like Ethereum already fixed these problems, and already solved these problems, and why are we going backwards to Bitcoin? Is kind of how it feels. But I think that's way too much of like a mid IQ take. It obviously is, and it's not a good one.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Should we have a look at NAT?
Yeah, yeah. Let's definitely take a look at that.
And then people want to
Yeah.
get that.
What would be the best way to pull up
Let me
info on
think.
that?
So let's have a look. I've got an idea. So it's interesting.
Mhm.
I'll send it to you now. Where is it? So yeah, there's a group of people. They're called the block runners.
Yep.
And they were a key proponent in like advertising bitmap. And what they found out was that bitmap. I've got to try and say this as easy as I can because it's quite complicated.
Yeah.
A bitmap is tied to each block. So there's currently 800,000 Bitcoin blocks, and each block contains some data. And they created this solution where they could create a tokenomic model that utilized the data within a particular block.
Mhm.
And that was a way to replicate emissions. So
Sure.
every 10 minutes, there's a new Bitcoin block. And if you imagine within like one of the fields in the block, it may say 2, 3, 4 different numbers.
Mhm.
That would be how many tokens come into circulation. So the block runners created this new protocol. They called it non-arbitrary token, which is what we're looking at now. And we minted quite a lot of these. I think I shared this with a few people. And
yeah, you're pushing this pretty hard.
Yeah, I just thought like I had a volume of $5 million in 5 days.
Sure.
And it was really difficult to do. You had to copy and paste a dodgy script in a Unisat inscriber, and it seemed to me that that's some smart money. And there's a lot of interest in this.
Yeah, I think if you follow the volume through like a certain amount of hoops, yeah, you have to kind of come to that conclusion. It's like why is this amount of money doing this?
Yeah, and the thing is where this is the first mover. The percentage of it doing well is high. Likelihood, because every other one has done well. 95% of all inscriptions programs have done well. Even Doge inscriptions have been doing well.
Yeah.
You got Audi, but then you got Doggy as well, DOGI.
How's that doing?
It's doing pretty well. They've all done high numbers, and so when this NAT came out, I was like, okay, let's be a bit stupid here. What's the risk? Are we likely to lose money? I thought the risk to the downside was low.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, we'll hedge our bets, we'll play the game. I think this will come out as well for trading after the Jubilee.
Okay.
So at the minute, there's nowhere buying it. Track is currently developing the indexer, but they can't release it into the 10th because of the new update.
Got it.
But we minted at about a $4 million market cap. And
sure,
Bitmap is at $100 million market cap. This could go to $40-50 million market cap and still be undervalued, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily know what the impact of this will be. People are creating new tokenomic models on Bitcoin which allow for emissions. And we're already seeing, if I send you this link, we're seeing miners taking the bitmaps out of the blocks already. Give me a second.
See.
Oh, that's the wrong one, sorry. Yeah, so one way of looking at this is like Bitmap is worth $80, and every new block that gets mined, that's $80 of value, which can be extracted. Now, if this new protocol goes 10x, if Bitmap goes 10x, you could see about $10,000 worth of NAT tokens or Bitmap tokens or a collection of tokens in each individual block. and the miners will start front running it. They've already started front running it already and mining.
Sure.
You know, so then you start to get MEV on Bitcoin. So along with their block rewards for the Bitcoin reward, they're now going to be getting a $10,000 reward for taking the NFTs inside of the block.
Sure.
You know, and that's going to cause gas wars and a whole bunch of. I can't see it any other way personally happening.
Yeah. When is Jared going to make it over here?
Exactly. Like when he turns out, then it's over.
Yep. He brings the volume.
So yeah, one more thing I wanted to look at with the ordinals was Magic Eden.
Yep. What about it?
Just I wanted to have a look at the free NFTs we looked at last time. You know, the ordinal maxi beers.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And the bitmaps.
Sure. Not this one. One of my soul picks. That's
so if there should be a way of looking at. Yeah, so Chewbacca, if you click Magic Eden, it'll go back to the home screen.
Yeah.
Click that. Click Bitcoin next to all chains.
Oh, there we go.
So if you're ever looking for like ordinals, this is the best place to look.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin frogs, I think that's done at like maybe close to doubled since last time we looked at it. You know, Bitmap has done about a 60% increase. And then ordinal maxi beers went from 0.29 to 0.48, which I'm coping about. You know, I really wanted to snatch one up.
Yeah.
But there is one more project my friend told me about. It's called Ordinal Rugs. And this is going to be part of a new protocol called RUG Rug. It's like Saturn. It's supposed to be
hilarious.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty big brain. It's called Saturn. It's a new it's a new competitor to BRC20.
Okay.
And they're going to be doing an airdrop for holders of the rugs.
Interesting.
Yeah, my friend showed it to me. I thought the price point was too steep for a rug. But maybe I'm mid-curving because when he shared it, it was 0.09. So looking at it now, I think I need to get onto this.
Yeah.
ASAP because the supply is quite low. So what's that? 15 Bitcoin market cap, 20 Bitcoin market cap, about 600k market cap. Yeah, that could be some alpha there.
Yeah. Yeah, only 147. It's interesting. And what was the airdrop to again?
I'll share it with you now. It's for a protocol called Saturn. It's just really hard to keep track of a lot of these projects.
I know.
My friend said type in Saturn ring on Twitter. Okay. 2 seconds, I'll send it to you.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, this is hilarious.
I think sometimes it's kind of a smoke screen. You know, to distract you from the quality of it.
Sure. So that, in a bad way, then.
Well, no. Well, it just keeps the mid curves up, right? And someone asked the question: they want to buy Bitmap, and they buy it on Magic Eden. If you want to buy that, you have to wait until I dump it. You have to wait until the indexer comes out after the 10th of December.
Sure.
I do anticipate, you know, best case scenario for anyone that wants to enter. When it launches, best case scenarios just trade sideways for a few days while people don't understand how to describe the value. The same thing that happened with Sats.
Sure.
You know, it stayed stable, but once it picked up, it went nuclear.
Now are those launches getting botted as well?
Oh,
or not really?
Good question. I don't know too much about that. I haven't seen much, to be honest.
I imagine much less
Yeah.
than the rest of the space.
Yeah, it's just a lot harder just because of transaction times, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is it
Interesting.
here. This
Cool.
is the first time I've looked at it. Bringing
Got
fungibility
it.
and a new token layer to Bitcoin. So if you buy this ordinal rug, it looks like you
Yep.
get an airdrop. Just say, so I think this
That's
is
worth looking at.
Yeah, with like an airdrop.
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely start looking into this one. Yeah, so I guess those are the main plays you're looking at on BRC20.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
there's just so much going on right now, you know.
I know it's hard to keep up, but
yeah, we'll save the rest for next time for the BRC.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah, I think
I'll just drop a few names. You've got Atomicals, which
mhm,
my friend's talking about. You've got
Yeah.
Soul Scriptions. You've got Doge Scriptions. I think they're the one. I'm not looking at ETH Scriptions, but I've heard Doge inscriptions are supposed to be coming
Mhm.
up as well for the memes.
Yeah.
You get the Elon pump. It kind of feels
Sure.
like we're living in on Groundhog Day, where we're going to run it all back, but just on a different inscription.
Yeah, it's just one level deeper, right? Inception, one level deeper.
Should we have a look at a few more picks before you have to log off?
Yeah, we can look at a few more.
Maybe ask for some requests for some people.
Let's see, yeah. What do we have? Paul is,
should I have a look at FriendPet?
yeah, let's look at FriendPet real quick.
Yeah, I'm a FriendPet maxi.
I mean, you love the white paper, so
yeah, I read it from.
So yeah, I imagine this thing is kind of bottoming out here, but
Yeah.
it's going to take some time before this makes any new highs. I mean, I'm guessing that it's going to be after this current rally is done, where this thing will be a great buy again for the next run.
Yeah, I think for me, the way I'm playing this is that buying now is a huge opportunity cost, but I do think, best case scenario, all these other rallies play out, and I think this will be a dark horse in the next few months when we get another base rally. The CEO of Base, who created Base, plays this game. He's in the Telegram group. There's a lot of developments going on with this project. The burn rate is crazy. It's not hyperinflationary, it's deflationary, and it fits the ethos of Base. Wholesome, clean dev, all that stuff, not scammy. And my price target, I think, if this doesn't hit 50 million, I'll be surprised at some point next year.
Yeah.
So I think, I've seen worse games much higher.
Yeah, we like the pets.
Exactly. I'm waiting for Messi to get on board.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at Genopets right now. This thing is ripping. I think the market likes pets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else you're looking at? Space Mesh people?
Oh yeah, Space Mesh. Yeah, I know a lot of people are really really bullish on Space Mesh. I don't really know why, but
I believe I was speaking to your friend the other day, like the mining is supposed to be very lucrative. I believe they said 40 Space Mesh per terabyte of storage. That's 100 per month, I think. Someone have to correct me if I'm wrong, but if you've got hard drives laying around already and good computer, it would be a no-brainer not to, it makes sense to mine this thing.
Yeah, that's right. I think Circa's mining it actually.
Yeah, that's the guy I was talking to. I was talking to Circa. I looked at doing it myself, but I would have to buy the stuff and then it's investment, ROI and that stuff. And I've kind of gone off the idea of ROI. I hate that word now because it just never comes.
Yep. After
Helium.
helium. Yep. Well, yeah, I don't feel like we're at the part of the cycle where you want to invest in long-term ROI. You know,
No.
that was 6 months ago,
Yeah.
12 months ago.
Yeah, unless it's Tau.
Yep. Unless it's Tau, yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I don't think there were really any other
Band Bears.
band bears. Yeah. Should I pull that up?
Yeah, like I've been thinking to myself, like, I think these things are gonna do something soon.
Yeah.
Like they're still pretty high floor price.
Yeah, I mean they raised like $1 billion or something.
Yeah, like I feel like this is gonna come out of nowhere, like Bearer Chain. Like it's such a long time coming. And it's one of them things where you take your eye off it for like a few months and it comes out and you're like, oh shit.
I forgot where that website where you can chart NFTs is. But yeah, I mean this is kind of a good dark horse play for sure.
Yeah. And then the Miladies good and
yeah, we can talk about this real quick. This one was a good play that JC and I scooped up around here. It did basically almost a 10x or like a 6-7x.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah,
I do think the Miladies are going to come back with a redemption arc. They can't let the Peggy Penguins get away with it. They're 10 each.
It's crazy. I know Pudgies are going to be a big one, I think.
Yeah, like they're warm up now. I think the Miladies have to come back at some point. They've been doing really well. I believe they're 4 ETH now.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, what are they at now? Nope. Yeah, about
3.7.
Mm-hmm.
But you compare that against ETH, USD value, they're probably at all-time high.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's true. We got to be pushing pretty close.
How about Fumo?
Let's see what that one is.
This play, like I've been joking around for a long time about Fumo.
Yeah.
I really do think it's gonna come back. We just need to rely on the Milady arc.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be obviously tied to Miladies. So, when those things pump, this thing will pump. So,
yeah, it just seems there's a lot of quality out there right now. We've spent a long time in the bear market, seen the winners, seen the losers, and it's just a case of not getting distracted because there is a lot of plays out there.
Yeah, I know.
To our horses.
You got to develop your plan and then stick to it.
Yeah. And it looks like someone started buying a lot of FinPet after we mentioned it. I'm pretty sure that's
we got to be careful, huh? Wow. Yep. Cool. Well, I think
we'll wrap it up.
Covered a decent amount. I'm probably gonna head out for the evening. What do you have planned?
Just stay off my phone.
Yep.
I was speaking to a friend. I was saying the bear market's easy to have a normal life.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the bull market, you're at a restaurant, you keep checking your phone, you're going to sleep, you check on your phone and try and make sure you don't miss an opportunity. You fall asleep early, your friends share the play, you missed it, and a lot of sleepless nights. But I think it's looking good. How about you?
Yeah, same deal. Probably try to relax on the screen time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Christmas is coming.
Exactly. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I think we like covered some great stuff. Thanks for hopping on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think we'll have to do it again.
Yeah, that sounds good. Hope we
Cool.
answered everyone's questions, and next week or week afterwards, everything we said is up to next.
Yep, exactly.
Man,
Cool.
take care.
Yep.